Welcome to Giant Dreams Under Construction, the show that focuses on positive people in our community working towards building their dreams. Today we have a local entrepreneur, a registered dental hygienist, and a newly elected councillor from Fort William First Nation, Desiree Morriseau-Shields. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, did I say your exact profession right?
Close to. I am a
Okay.
registered dental hygienist. I'm also a self-initiated dental hygienist.
And what does that mean?
So that means that I have the ability to scale teeth, root plane, and curettage surrounding tissue without a dentist's order. In other
Okay.
words, I can perform my full scope of dental hygiene practice independently without a dentist overseeing my work.
So, but does that mean can you do fillings, or is that where it ends?
That's where it ends.
That's
Yeah,
still
that's the
that's
controlled
still a lot.
act. Yeah.
So now you recently, it seems like, set up a practice, the first of its kind on Fort William First
Right.
Nations in the band office.
Right.
So do you specifically deal with First Nation members, like from our community, or do you see all First Nation members, whoever
I
wants?
service everyone. It doesn't even have to be a specifically First Nations person. I can see everyone and anybody. So specifically, I have a program called the Children's Oral Health Initiative, and that covers our children up to age 7, and then I can see up to age 100, if you will.
Okay, and does the government, like, wasn't there something passed where the kids get free dental, or for every kid, or am I mistaken? Or?
Well, there was, like I had mentioned, we have the Children's Oral Health Initiative, so that funding comes from Health Canada to provide preventative services for children up to age 7.
Okay.
And then most recently, dental hygienists were allowed to bill NIHB directly, so that's the insurance coverage that a lot of First Nations people have,
Okay.
NIHB. So in the past, it was we needed a dentist to send in dental hygiene claims, but now since there's been recent changes, I can submit my dental hygiene claims directly to NIHB, which opened things up.
So why did you decide, instead of going to work for, another dentist, why did you decide to take it upon yourself and bring this service to Fort William? What was the kind of catalyst there, or the motivation?
Okay, so that's actually a layered answer to that question. When I graduated in 2011, there was next to no jobs available for me as a dental hygienist working underneath a dentist in a private practice. So there was that part, and then also being raised I was brought up underneath an entrepreneur who was my father.
Yeah, I know your dad.
Yeah, so Robert Shields, he runs his own contracting company, and
We built a few houses together.
yeah. So that had always inspired me to be my own boss and, do things for myself and work independently.
But this is completely different
Yeah.
from home building. So you didn't, like, Dad couldn't really guide you
Right.
too much here.
So when I had started college, Confederation College, the pre-health program that I took, dental hygiene, I always knew I wanted to come back to Fort William First Nation and provide my skill, knowledge, expertise. And, pardon me, sorry.
No, that's okay. Did you go to Con College, or
Yeah, I went to Confederation College. So
Okay.
I did always know I wanted to bring back that skill to Fort William First Nation. And when I really focused in and looked at what was going on in Fort William First Nation, there was actually a gap in healthcare. There was not a dental hygienist present on Fort William First Nation, nor
No,
a
I
dentist.
don't remember. Yeah.
So I saw that opportunity, and that's what moved me toward that direction to open up my own practice.
So how many years is dental hygienist school, and like what's it typically entail?
It was 2 years. It was a very intensive course, I must say.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 years isn't bad, but this is medical. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was intensive, like I said. We were packed with lots of coursework. But I know recently they expanded the program to 3 years, so I'm thinking maybe the course was a little bit lighter. I did have a lot of support from my fellow classmates, my fiance, and my family, though I owe it to them to being able to be sitting here today.
Did you, like, when you're in school, what's the first year like, and like when do you actually start, like, because I remember when I was in college, you could go to the classroom for you guys and get your teeth
Right.
worked on. Like,
Right.
Was that how it was like for you? 'Cause I
First
went
year
to
was all
college
theory.
long time ago.
It was all theory first year. And then in the second year, we started actually doing more clinical work with
Okay.
patients and such.
Did you get a lot of students from the college coming
Yeah.
in, or like and
A
their
lot of
kids and
outside
stuff?
people as
Yeah.
well too. It's a great place to go and get dental care done if you're on a budget or you don't have any health insurance.
Is it? Do you find that people might be a little bit more scared knowing that it's a student?
It's a student.
working?
I didn't find that, no, but I found that it was the process a lot more slow than when you go and have your teeth cleaned in a practice.
Is there
It's like a broken up appointment. Each appointment's nearly an hour.
So is your professor, or what would you call it, preceptor? What's it called when they're your
Our
supervisor?
professor, yeah, they would be supervising our work and checking on us frequently
literally
to
coming
ensure.
in, taking a
Yeah.
peek at everybody's teeth.
Yeah, and making sure we're not missing a millimeter.
Did you ever and maybe you don't want to answer this question because you have your own practice, but did you ever accidentally poke somebody, or like is that a common thing for a
No,
student?
that's where the theory comes in, and you got to build your theory before you start even putting those instruments in your hand. So no.
Well, that's good. That's good for her clients to know. So now you mentioned your dad being an entrepreneur. And I know your mom just a little bit. I know your dad a lot more than I know your mom, but like you said, they helped you a lot to go through school. How so?
Well, they provided me a comfortable home to come home to, meals to come home to. So that was I had a good home base to come to. But yeah, they just supported me and were always, you could do this, Des, you could do this, and always were very encouraging and very positive in my journeys.
Are you an only child?
No, there's 3 of us.
Okay.
I am the oldest of 3 though.
Okay, and so have they completed their schooling yet? Like,
Working toward it.
Yeah.
My brother's working toward his high school diploma, and my sister's actually
Okay.
looking towards starting her college career. So
Well, that's awesome. So I'm sure your parents will be super supportive of them as well.
Yeah.
So, and you have 2 kids?
one.
One? Okay.
Yes.
I'm always, you must have nieces and nephews then or something.
Lots.
Yeah, okay, because I see pictures
always
of
with
other
kids.
So how old is your,
My daughter is 5.
okay. So,
Ariana, yes.
Oh, so you had her after college. So that,
Yes.
yeah, that would have made it a little bit more difficult.
Most definitely.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk about how you established your business and what it's like. So we will be right back with Giant Dreams Under Construction. We're back with Giant Dreams Under Construction, and our guest today is Desiree Morriseau-Shields from Fort William First Nation, who has her own dental hygiene practice that she started out there. So I wanted to talk more about the practice and what it was like to set it up. And like, starting any business is hard, really, but usually with like a dental practice, you have a dentist who's, you know, somebody over. Yeah. So what was it like just starting, being like brand new?
Right.
Because you said that you didn't work anywhere else really. You went right in full steam. What was that like for you?
It was a challenge. I started out pretty well as a mobile practice with Health Canada. I was a provider for, like I had said prior, the Children's Oral Health Initiative, and I had mobile equipment. So what I would do is reach out into the community, into programs, and
Keep going.
I would reach out into the community and provide mobile services to children that were attending programs like Parents and Tots or family programs.
Oh, is that when you would when you'd have the person come to the school or something and
Yeah.
you do the fluoride rinse and stuff?
Similar,
or-
yeah. We would do more paint-on fluoride applications and do exams and then refer out as needed.
Do you guys still have those red things that you chew on that dye your teeth
yeah,
red?
the disclosing
because I
tablets?
remember
That's
those.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had this mobile service for how long?
Oh goodness, I think maybe 3 years.
And then you decided you wanted
Which was
to
a lot of
not
fun.
drive everywhere.
And not
anymore?
pack up my
Yeah.
equipment and unpack it and repack it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's got to be hard to keep things super sterile
was.
then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I remember you first setting up in the band office on Fort William. Was your business in operation then when you were first setting up, or were you working under the band office at that time?
I was never working under the band office as an employee. I was always an independent contractor, but I never actually really established the business until about 4 years into working the Children's Oral Health Initiative program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was about 2 years ago that you guys did the office rental for you too, right?
That's right.
So, and your dad helped with that, I
Yes, he
remember,
did.
and your husband.
A little
or,
bit,
no,
yes.
your fiance.
Yeah.
So, was there any specific application process to be able to, like, especially running, like, I know on the reserve you could start up any business, well, anywhere in the world you could start up any business and you just register and get your license and everything. Was it different because you were trying to work out of the band office? Like, how did that go? What was that process like?
The process wasn't too complicated. I had to sign a lease. Typically, you would,
Oh,
right? To rent a
okay.
space, signed a lease to respect their needs in the space, and also had to abide by my regulatory body, the CDHO, in setting up a sterile equipment space.
What is CDHO?
The Canadian Dental Hygienists of Ontario.
Okay. And so you didn't have to go to like a chief and council meeting. They didn't have to do a referendum. Like, it was just pretty, it was
Yeah, it was
pretty easy,
an
or-
agreement with, well, chief and council, but first point of contact was with our director of lands and properties.
okay. And that would be Ian
Bannon,
Bannon.
right.
Okay. And so was it hard getting clientele, or as soon as our community found out that we had a hygienist,
Right.
like you had instant?
It was a slow start, a very slow start, and it was all word of mouth because at the time I didn't have, and I still, I would say, don't have major marketing dollars because that sort of advertising can
Yeah.
get very expensive. I worked word of mouth and we slowly built clientele. A lot of it was from the parents of the children that were coming to see me for the Children's Oral Health Initiative.
Okay. And did you find that being in the health unit part of the band office, with the other health practitioners, did they refer a lot of clients
Yes,
to you?
yes.
Yeah. And so I guess you get to meet a lot of our community members in that aspect then, and you get to watch them grow.
Yeah.
Like, how like what percentage of your client base would be like our community
From
members?
Fort William?
Yeah.
I'd say 95% of my client base is from Fort William First
Okay.
Nation. Yeah.
Have you tried reaching out to other First Nations for when the people come to town for other
Not
medical?
too much
No?
other communities, but I have reached out to other First Nations organizations in the city of Thunder Bay and gone out and did some outreach services for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now, I remember you received an award last year, I believe, from NADF.
Right.
Did they help with your establishing your practice at all?
Yes, they did.
And that was the Young Entrepreneur of the Year
Yes.
award, right?
That's
Okay.
right.
Well, congrats on that.
Thank you.
I know. I actually got that, I believe, in 2015,
Yeah.
where it's
I
just
saw-
like,
I saw you.
It,
Yeah.
it really pumps you up, and you're like, okay, I'm on the right path
this,
here.
yes.
Did you like how is Brian? We've actually had Brian on the show before to explain the NADF process. But what did you have to do for them? Did you have to do a business plan? Like, what did you have to do to get approved for their assistant?
Right. So I had to demonstrate the need for a dental hygiene practice in Fort William First Nation, and then, like you had said, design a business plan that covered every aspect of the business, from a mission statement all the way to the 3-year projection.
Was that daunting for you?
Yes.
Or yeah,
Yes.
It's really like a big essay
It
and a
was.
huge homework assignment.
I'm going to admit that I am no buff on writing a business plan, but well, initially I wasn't. Now I think I could handle it.
Did
Yeah.
your dad help with that, or like contractors were kind of like, give me my hammer, and
Right.
like,
Right? Yeah. No, you know who helped me greatly was Pero, I think it's
the Women's Network.
Yes, Pero was amazing.
I didn't know that you had connections with them also.
Yeah, there was a few resources that I accessed when going about this journey of developing a practice.
Well, that's awesome. Go community resources.
Yeah,
that's what we
they're
try
there.
to promote that. Yeah,
Yes.
no, I didn't know that you actually worked with Pero on this. So they helped you with your business plan, you said?
They did.
And then what other aspects, like the business plan, I believe there's financial stuff that you have to put in, like your forecasts and everything.
Right.
Had you ever had to do anything like that before, as far as I think in 3 years I'm gonna make this much.
No.
Like no.
No.
Did you
No.
find like you're like I want to be like Cookie Monster, say I'll have all the cookies, or were you a little timid about your numbers? Like how do you think you played?
You know what? I think the numbers that I presented were quite accurate because I have to follow a fee guide, right? So there's, it was really, I had quite the production for the amount of clients that I was hoping to get in.
Yeah.
But in those wishes, it was pretty easy to determine how much income could come in from the practice.
Well, it's always better to dream big,
Yes.
right? Because you know what? If you dream big,
That's right.
at least if you even if you fall a little short, it's still a lot, and it's still you're still accomplishing a lot. So we're going to take a quick break, and then I want to talk to you about this new phase of life that you're going into. So we will be right back. Welcome back to Giant Dreams Under Construction. This is our final segment for today with our guest Desiree Morriseau-Shields, the dental hygienist from Fort William First Nation, who decided she wanted to give politics a run this past election. So congrats, because this was your first time running, I believe, for Fort William First Nation Chief and Council, and you got in.
Yeah.
So what was, like, especially with a brand new business, what made you decide that you wanted to take on this other huge task while running a new business?
Well, I felt like I had a lot to offer, and that being one of the things that I have to offer is my experience in running a dental hygiene practice in Fort William First Nation. I felt that could add to leadership, right?
But business, yeah, you have to be a leader if you're an entrepreneur. But
That's
like these, especially with, if you have a 10-year-old business, a lot of the gears are well oiled by that point. But this is still like it is a baby.
Yeah.
And so what was your thought process? Like, was it like, no, I'm doing it, or were you hemming and hawing about it for a little while?
I actually did bounce around the idea for the last 2 terms, potentially running. I had a lot of community members come to me and express, you should do it, you should do it. And, I never actually got nominated throughout those last 2 terms. And this was the term that I was nominated by a community member. And finally, I decided I'm like, yeah, I do want to do this.
It was the time. Like, if you would have been nominated 2 years ago, your business would have only been one, and it would have been a lot harder, right?
Yes.
Like, because I know council does take up a lot of time and energy, and just
Yes.
especially with you working in the community, you're accessible. People know where to find you all day, every day.
I have people knocking at my door.
I believe. Well, I've done work in that band office before. Yeah, no, I know a lot of our counselors personally, where especially when you're in the community, and especially with kids too, because of the events you go to. What do you think? Like, what was your platform? Just for our viewers, like what were the main commitments you wanted to make to our members if elected?
The main commitments that I had dedicated and will dedicate myself to is continuing to support our community's environmental health and safety, continue to build our local economy, and also to support and develop our recreation and program space.
We have a new park.
Yes.
Is it open
new.
yet?
It's going to be open at, I think they're aiming for June.
But it's a big playground, and I don't remember us ever having this big of a playground before, or this cool of a playground.
Yes.
So
they're also adding a basketball court.
I heard
and
that.
potentially some barbecue pits.
That's awesome.
So it'll be great for the community.
Well, I grew up around Dees too, where we always went to the park.
It's where you gather.
Yeah,
right?
It's the hub.
It's important.
I'm an advocate for the Dees Park area, but so I loved when I saw the new playground and everything going in, because I know a lot of our community members for years were voicing that there was nowhere safe for our
children to play, families to play. That's right.
So now, during the election process, like, I know, politics, things get kind of nasty. This election here, though, that we had was pretty positive. Like,
I thought it was too.
I know in previous years people put things in mailbox overnight, and just done really poopy crap to each other.
That's true.
But this round here was, people were polite, and they were focused on
Supportive.
the actual issues instead of
Yeah.
throwing poop at each other, it was really nice.
No poop
so
throwing.
were you a little scared about that and relieved when it didn't happen, or were you kind of prepared, like if somebody says I'm a jerk, I'm just going to say sometimes you got to be a jerk?
Yeah, it's exactly. I was just rolling with the punches.
Yeah.
Taking it as it came. I wasn't really looking back in the past and being fearful of those sorts of things happening to me per se.
Yeah. So did you, like the night that everybody voted, and what's it called when you're sitting in the room and they're doing the count and you have you and your person there? What's that night called? Is that just the election night?
Election night, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say though I wasn't there for it.
Oh no?
I was in Toronto supporting a friend actually.
Oh, okay. So did that alleviate some of the?
I needed to I was very excited about it, so
Yeah.
I felt it was a good idea to remove myself.
Did your fiance stick around and pay attention to it
I had
for
some,
you?
yeah,
or-
I had some friends and some fellow councillors actually keep track of things and
Okay.
keep me up to date.
And this count
Up to
took
minute.
all night, I
Yes,
remember. And then
and
the
I was
chief
up all
count,
night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
happened the next day.
Yeah.
So when did they tell you?
I kept looking at my phone, I'd say, until about 3:30 in the morning and checking messages, and everybody's telling me, no, nothing yet, nothing yet. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go to bed and I'll answer it
You could
in the
actually
morning.
sleep?
Not really. I had some sleeping aids.
Yeah.
A nice bottle of red that helped me.
There you go.
And yeah, I woke up the next morning and
You were in?
yeah.
No. So
Yeah.
what was your first thought when you found out you got in? Like holy poop,
I was
now
in
I
shock.
actually have to do it?
I was in shock and it didn't feel real. And for the up until our first meeting, it didn't feel real at all. I really wanted to get to work. The waiting game was not.
So
fun
have
for me.
you've had, I know you guys, is it called inaugurated or?
We had our inauguration.
Yeah,
yes.
where everybody gets together, the big pictures taken. You've had a meeting now since the election? How
right.
many meetings? Or
We've
just
had
the
one meeting,
Okay.
chief and council meeting so far.
Do you guys go through a training process? And our election term has actually changed now. We used to be 2 years. Now you're in for 4 years.
That's right.
So that's a commitment. Your business will be 7 by that point. But do they give you some kind of training at all, or they just learn to swim?
Kind of, yeah, it really was. Dive in and kind of figure it out. But I have to say there are some current counselors that have been there for
Decades.
yes.
Yeah.
And they've been really supportive
That's so good. Yeah.
and kind of showing us the ropes, but
That helps big time. It really does. So now we just have a short little bit left. What do you want to achieve, and what do you hope to inspire into somebody else with all of this?
for anybody that is considering opening up their own dental hygiene practice, considering becoming a counselor within their community, any entrepreneur whatsoever, just go for it. Put anything that you put your heart and your mind to, you could succeed in. And I'd suggest
The
reaching
time's
out.
going to pass anyways, right?
Yeah, that's right. And reach out for help when you need it. Ask your colleagues, ask your friends for help and support when you need it, because together we can do so much more than by ourselves.
Well, and thank you to the agencies like NADF and PARO and just for supporting dreamers.
Yes.
So I wish you the best of luck with your business, and I hope that you're as good as you put yourself out there to be or to sound for Chief and Council. I know you're a good person. I know you'll do well, and you'll be good for the community. Congratulations on everything, and thank you so much for sharing your story here with us today.
Thank you. Miigwech.
Thank you for watching another episode of Giant Dreams Under Construction, and we will see you next time.